Everyone is an entrepreneur. All you got to do is ask different questions. And what I want to get out of this from my point of view is that you feel more confident that if there's something you want to do, you do it. You may not be successful, but the only way to gain confidence in yourself is to do things. And I can tell you that personally, I get off that, my first job after I got out of college and went through my compulsory military service, I joined a company called Roman Haas. It's a $1 billion now chemical company. And they had 2,000 industrial chemicals with what they produce. Enzymes, plexiglass, ion exchange resins, you name it. They put me through 9 months of their labs. Then they gave me a ticket and says, you're going to Japan and you're responsible to go in the factory from India to Japan and show people how to use our chemicals. Now there's a job for somebody at 23 years old. And I hadn't the foggiest idea what I was doing, okay? But you do it, and you learn. And people are understanding the fact that this young kid probably doesn't know what he's doing, but he wants to try, so they're helpful. And I think you'll find that's what life is all about. If you're willing to take a chance and do something, you'll find that people are very receptive to that, and it'll be. And what I want to get out of here is how you think about ideas, if there's something you want to do, there is absolutely no obstacle for you doing it. You may not succeed, and we're going to go back and tell you how you, during the course of the day, we'll explain exactly how that you can minimize the cost of not being successful, because most entrepreneurs, the first company they start, you don't have to start a company. It could be a hobby, it could be something you just do for pleasure. It's not you have to make money on it, but it's something you want to do. And I'll give you many examples as we go through the day of people like yourself who had a problem they want to resolve, and so they decided to do it themselves. They didn't do it because they wanted business. They didn't do it because they wanted to make money. There's a problem they had to redress. And maybe something as simple as their mother has a business and doesn't have a good accounting system. And the daughter gives an example of that, a good case study of that. She decides she would put in a accounting system for her mother, and became so good she had $1 million company in no time. That's not where she started. If you all know this story of Instagram, you all probably use Instagram. This is a guy that had a hobby. He took how to frame those pictures differently, and all he did was work with his buddies to show them how to do that. He was bought by Facebook for $1 billion. Never had a customer, didn't even have a company. Now, that's an unusual situation. Not everyone's going to be Bill Gates, but there is no reason that you yourself, if there's something you feel passionate about and want to do, and we'll talk more about that, why you can't do it. All innovation means is a new idea, that's all. And so innovation means we're going to try something, do something differently. And what you're suggesting, we're going to have a dispensary for processing paper. We're going to have something to you dry your hands so you reduce the amount of bacteria that's spread. That's an innovation because you're finding a way to solve a problem or create value. And that's all innovation is. Entrepreneurship is a broader term, and it's a good word. I mean, today everyone wants to say I'm an entrepreneur, and it's a way of thinking. And I'll give you a very good cultural example of that. So when we are grown up, if we want to make a meal, the first thing we do is we go find a recipe. You can buy them at CVS, or you can go to Ladies Home Journal, or whatever they are, and you get recipes. They're all over the place. Pinterest have millions of them. And you buy the stuff, you mix it, cook it, you serve it. That's not entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurs walk in the kitchen and they see what's there. Got onions, you have tomatoes, got whatever, and they mix something based on that and serve it. That is the only difference between an entrepreneur and people like me. It's the fact that they know something, they want to get it done, and they do something about it. And that's not making money, it's just you want to eat a meal, and you do with what you've got. One of the things we're going to talk about, and what we have your examples, why I asked you to write down this sentence, is I think as part of this discussion, I want to help you think through how you can make what you want to do appealing to others. And that's the idea of have a plan of action and maybe attract resources or partners or whatever. And we'll go through a little example further on in the day about characteristics of successful entrepreneurs. And the one thing that's very clear, they rely on working with others. And I can tell you from my own experience, having done this for 50 years, I see 100, 140, they say 100 companies a year, people are trying to raise money from me or my family boys fund. They've got, I will know in 5 minutes whether I'm interested in discussing it. I don't read business plans. We'll get to that later on. But the point is, I asked them, who have you talked to about your idea? Getting back to this example of this woman in the car that mentioned the Uber. Who have you talked to about it? You have to find somebody to be interested in it. Trouble with most research faculty, they work on something to try and perfect it to their image, but they really haven't talked to anybody who might be interested in using it. So if I talk to somebody in 3 or 4 minutes, the first question I'm going to ask is, who have you talked to? And if they say no one, I said, that's the end of the conversation. You're going to fail. You go talk to people. Because other people are going to tell you that maybe if you do this, it would be better. Or maybe if you did this, I'd be interested in being a partner or something. I don't go to social events very much, and I had a friend of mine went to Harvard with me. He said, you got to go to we're having a group meeting down in Washington. I said, I don't want to go. He said, well, you got to go. So I went. The first 2 people who came up to talk to me asked me the same question. What do you do? You know what I said? Aren't you going to ask my name? And I left. But that's the kind of network you don't want to do. I mean, you want to get to the point, this is my idea. What do you think? Let's talk about it together and benefit from a dialogue. Networking is important. Entrepreneurs network like crazy. But they do it in a way where they're talking to people that can help them develop their ideas and their business. And it's not a zero-sum game. The problem is that, I'm sorry I'm getting ahead of the game, but you probably all watched Shark Tank, is that right? All right. I am a person who hates Shark Tank. Now let me say, it's not that I hate it because it's not entertaining, it is. And I would like to have the guy, I wish I had $1 billion and I could say, I don't have to work, I'll just tell you what to do kind of thing. The problem with the Shark Tank is it's a zero-sum game. You got somebody with a lot of power and money calling all the shots, not to figure out how you and I can work together to make this successful and have a cooperation of both adding value and taking risks together. I'm in control, I'll give you $25,000 for 50% of the company, take it or leave it. That's not what I think is a good business, and most of those companies fail. So it's the attitude or the process which I don't support, and I don't want to teach that way for people who want to be entrepreneurs. I want people to think, how can we work together? I add this value, you add this value, we all take risks together, and if we succeed, we all equally succeed, and if we fail, we all equally fail.